Hey, this is Ray. Welcome to my workshop. Welcome to part 2 of the Use What You Got challenge. I'm going to show you today how to make this extra cool neck with extra cool fretboard. And also I have some questions about the style and how I should finish this body given this look. Hope you hang out for the rest of it. Apologies for those guys who are following my channel. I said I'd have this out in 2 weeks. I'm running a week behind schedule, mainly because I got new software and I've been building. I have more footage than I can put into a short video, so I'm going to put this one out there and we'll have another one hopefully next week. One of the reasons I'm a little late is I got new recording software and also decided to write my own backing track rather than using other people's work. That took a little bit longer than it should, but it was kind of fun, got me used to using the software, and to be honest with you, I hadn't played the Ace of Spades in a while and that was kind of fun. So when we last left this, here was the design and it was all use what you got. Left me with a quandary. What in the world to do with all these pieces of black and white ebony? Well, first off, I thought, well, I would see if I could clean them up and get them ready for a glue up, possibly as a fretboard. We'll see how this goes. So when I got to this point, I'm looking at something that's a pretty strong look for the guitar. And I really like it, but boy, that's going to change things from how I planned it on going. Each individual piece had to be planed, make sure I had a good fit, and get a good clamp job. Okay, that's the glue up. Looks like good joints. I guess we'll find out when I plane the whole thing and sand it. So probably fretboard, might just be some decorative stripes. I haven't figured it out. Okay, that's the glue up, just came out of the clamps. Yes, I do realize it is set up and glued to a piece of MDF. That is not unintentional. The piece of MDF acts as a really nice flat base. Keeps everything straight. And then because each piece was not exactly the same thickness, I need to start walking this down until I get a single thickness that I like. We'll speed it up here a little bit. The end effect turns out really, really good, which I was happy with. So once I've got one side flat, I turn it over and I flip and do the MDF and just take it completely off so I'm left flat on both sides. Creates a nice little stack of fire starter there. And what looks like would be a really nice fretboard. Now for a quick cleanup of the Bespoke. Beautiful piece of wood. You can probably barely see this, but I'm going to lay out the headstock and the width that I need for the continuation. I've got almost nothing there. So yeah, it's going to be tight. But I'm going to be able to use every piece of this. Hey guys, taking a look at the neck. Looks like I got a good match. Managed to stay just outside the line, which is what you want, because my wood stretcher is still in order. Here's what I got. Don't have one of those. The other thing I show you is this is how, so about 80 mil overlap, something like that, and that's going to be, then I'll come down I'll cut this off here, that's the end of the body. This piece here is going to come forward with this piece, and that'll create the top. And then over top of this, I'll have my fretboard. So far, so good. So a couple quick thoughts about working with templates. Starting with my neck template here. Right, I had that from before, but now I'm making my body template, and I want to match. And one thing that's nice about working with, these are just MDF, you get the overlap and the fit. You get exactly the width that I want. I can get to my router and match it exactly. Rather than screwing around with a piece of wood that's valuable, play with the cheap little MDF and get it right. Also, now that I've laid this out, I can lay out the back piece and match this one exactly. I know that I'm going to have nice straight lines. Of course, you can't count on your bandsaw to cut straight enough, and so I have some straight, basically leveling blocks that I'm going to use to treat these edges and sand them flat. Straight enough is not straight enough. There you go. What I have here is an aluminum bar that I've added some 60 grit on it, and I'm using that as a leveling beam. I just have the leveling beam clamped, and I'm using it to straighten the edge on the MDF. Works out good. Almost no Paduke is left over. So what I'm doing here is planning the work, laying out the step-by-step of how I'm going to do the neck. There's a bunch of different ways to do this, and depending on which side you want to have flat and which side you want to have shaped first. I don't know if there's a right way, but there's many ways to do this. Chris Franklyn did a video recently where he laid out how he does it. I don't think I copied what he did, but I'm just working it out in my head and trying to follow this. If I have to make a change later, then I have to make a change later. It's not that big of a deal, but at least you have a plan and you know if you're deviating from it. So I'm going to be using a bottom bearing router bit, and that bottom bearing will go against the template, and got to be careful, make sure you don't try to cut too deep with one of these. The router will bite and throw a piece of wood across the room, and really quite dangerous, most dangerous thing I do. That said, just keep it small and take a little bit of time, and this is a really slick operation. So far, so good. The Paduke is a little dry and has a tendency to chip. I'm starting to recognize that about now. That's getting a little deep. Well, After all I said about not getting too much of a take and not trimmed that close enough and chipped out, I don't think I've screwed this up. I think it's going to be okay, but man, that's close. All's well that ends well. All that's left is to clean up a little edge. I'll speed up a little bit and go through the neck here. Everything else went really smoothly, and the whole thing's going according to plan. Time for routing out the neck. I made a new truss rod template just for this build, and you know, as long as you've got a sharp bit on your router, it's kind of hard to screw these up if you've made a careful template. But this is the first time, so I'm being very careful setting it up. Turns out what I had was not a sharp bit, and after I got done fighting this thing through, I switched my bit out and it just accelerated the process. So, well, so much for cheap bits. Probably should invest in a good plunge router, but right now I'm checking the calipers on the depth and manually adjusting. Well, my new rod template worked out really nicely. Just finished a little bit of routing work. Nice tight fit. Access for adjustment once I get the head shaped. Overall, quite happy with that. Maybe, just maybe, enough clamps for used here. Hey guys, managed to get my neck completed to this point. Got the clamp up done. We're going to let it glue, dry, and move on. Hope you guys are enjoying the Use What You Got challenge. There's a lot of guys out there making some great content. You can find links in the description. Most of these guys are like the all-stars of the Great Guitar Build Off earlier this year. You need to check out their work. Looks like this video is going to end up being a part 1 and part 2. I have the body block complete and a lot more work done. I'll bring that out to you within the week. Until then, please hit like, subscribe, and be safe.